Good morning, my dear students. Today we are discussing with the new topic, that is insect vector. Here you can see the two different words, that is insect and vectors. First we'll see what exactly the vectors. Vectors are living organisms that can transmit infectious pathogens between humans or from animals to humans. Many of these vectors are blood-sucking insects which ingest disease-producing microorganism during a blood meal from an infected host, that is, it may be human or animal, and later transmit it to the new host after the pathogen has replicated. Once a vector becomes infectious, they are capable of transmitting the pathogen for the rest of their life during each that is subsequent bite or blood meal. This can occur via biting in case of mosquitoes and flies, and penetration it is by the guinea worm, and also by the gastrointestinal tract, that is from the contaminated food or the drink. Here is the example of so many vectors you can see in this picture. So there are important, that is the main vectors. So arthropods are small animals with jointed legs which include insects, that Arthropoda phylum, which includes, that is the class Insecta with mosquitoes and flies, arachnids, that is the example ticks and mites, and crustaceans, that is cyclops and the guinea worms, and also it includes, that is centipedes and millipedes, all of which differ in respect of their antenna, wings or legs. So classification of main arthropods of medical importance. So medically important insect means those causes medical problems. Some transmit disease through sting, drink, that is the blood, or lead to allergic reaction in humans. So when you look at the class Insecta, the very important characters are: the body has been divided into head, thorax and abdomen. 3 pairs of legs, often have wings, 1 pair of antennae and segmented abdomen. And this class Insecta, which includes, that is the order Diptera, example mosquitoes and flies, order Heteroptera, that is the bugs, order Anopheles, that is the lice, order Siphanoptera, fleas, order Dictyoptera, that is cockroaches. Type of vectors. There are 2 important types, that is biological vector and mechanical vector. So biological vector, here the pathogens or the parasites or the arbovirus in the infested host are ingested by the vector, where they undergo change and multiplication in order to mature to a infective stage. So this usually takes several days before they are capable of being transmitted to a new host, that you can see example in human malarial parasite. So another one, that is the mechanical vector, where vectors transmit diseases by transporting the causative agent from contaminated material. For example, it may be feces on their feet or mouth parts, or then spreading the pathogen or the parasites onto the human food, drink, faces or eyes. So when you come for the disease which is caused by all these, they are called as vector-borne diseases. So these diseases causes human illness. These caused by parasites, viruses, bacteria, and they are transmitted by vectors. Every year there are more than 7 lakh deaths from diseases such as malaria, dengue, schistosomiasis and trypanosomiasis, that means the sleeping sickness, leishmaniasis, and that means which is caused by bite of sandflies, and Chagas disease, which is caused, it is also caused by, that means it is transmitted by bugs. Yellow fever, encephalitis, that means it is a viral inflammation where that means the viral infection that means inflammation you find in the brain, and also it causes onchocerciasis. The burden of these diseases is highest in tropical and subtropical areas, and they disproportionately affect the poorest population. Since 2014, major outbreaks of dengue, malaria, chikungunya, yellow fever and Zika have afflicted population, claimed lives and overwhelmed health system in many countries. Other diseases such as chikungunya, leishmaniasis and lymphatic filariasis causes chronic suffering, lifelong morbidity, and also you can find disability. So here in this insect vector you have first study about Anopheles. So there are approximately 3,500 species of mosquito which are grouped into 41 genera. Anopheles mosquito are of great importance to human health. They transmit pathogen including malarial parasite, filarial worms and arbovirus, that means arthropod-borne viruses. Human malaria is transmitted only by females of the genus Anopheles. Of the approximately 430 Anopheles species, only 30 to 40 transmit malaria. That is what we call it as vectors in nature. The biting female Anopheles mosquito may carry malaria. Male mosquitoes do not bite, so cannot transmit malaria or any other diseases. The adult females are generally short-lived, living more than 10 days in tropical region to transmit malaria. The rest either bite humans infrequently or cannot sustain the development of malarial parasite. So when you come for the life cycle of Anopheles, like others, it also consisting of 4 stages, that is egg, larva, pupa and adult. The first 3 stages, that means the egg, larva, pupa, are aquatic and it lasts for 17 to 14 days and depends upon the species and its ambient temperature. The mosquitoes take blood meals for egg production, and these blood meals are linked between the human and the mosquito hosts in the parasite life cycle. So here is the picture of life cycle of Anopheles, that is you can see flow chart. Female Anopheles need blood to produce eggs, and eggs they are laid on water, and after 2 to 3 days mosquito larvae feeds on microscopic organisms and plants will come out from the egg and grow into pupa, and later on that adult mosquito will come out from pupa after few days and fly away. It takes 17 to 14 days for the mosquito to grow from egg to an adult mosquito. A mosquito egg, larva or pupa do not have malarial parasite inside it. The adult mosquitoes have malarial parasite in their bodies, but not only if they are bitten someone who has malaria. So next, looking to the effect of Anopheles. Malaria is a life-threatening mosquito-borne blood disease. The Anopheles mosquito transmit it to humans. The biting female Anopheles mosquito may carry malaria. It's typically transmitted through the bite of infected Anopheles. Infected mosquito carry the Plasmodium parasite. When this mosquito bites the host, the Plasmodium parasite, it is released into the bloodstream of host. Once the parasite are inside the body, they travel to the liver where they get mature. After several days, the mature parasites enter the bloodstream and begin to infect the blood cells. Within 48 to 72 hours, the parasites inside the blood cell multiply, causing the infected cells to burst open. The parasite continue to infect the red blood cells, resulting in symptoms that occur in cycles that last for 2 to 3 days at a time. The successful development of the malarial parasite in the mosquito from the gametocyte stage, that means the sexual forms of parasite, to the sporozoite, that means the human infective stage, that depends on several factors. The most important is ambient temperature and along with the humidity. So when you see the cycle in the mosquitoes, the female mosquito carry malarial parasite, feeds on a human and injects the parasite in the form of sporozoites in the bloodstream. So these sporozoites, they are found on the salivary gland of the mosquito. So these sporozoites, they travel to the liver and they invade the liver cells. So later on, these sporozoites grow, divide and produce thousands of haploid forms, and that we call it as merozoites. And these merozoites exit the liver cells and re-enter the bloodstream and starts the invasion of the blood cells, and where exactly asexual reproduction and release of newly formed merozoites from the red blood cells. And this multiplication can result in thousands of parasites, infected cells in the host bloodstream, leading to illness and complication of malaria that can last for months if it is not at all treated. Some merozoite infected blood cell leave the cycle of asexual multiplication. Instead of replicating, the merozoite in these cells develop into sexual forms of parasite called the male and the female gametocytes that circulate in the bloodstream. When a mosquito bites an infected human, it injects the gametocytes. In the mosquito gut, the infected human blood cells burst, releasing the gametocytes, which further develop into mature sex cells called gametes. Male and female gamete fuse to form diploid zygote, where actively they develop into ookinetes that burrow into the mosquito midwall and form the oocyst. Later, the growth and the division of each oocyst produce thousands of active haploid forms called sporozoites. So this oocyst burst, releasing sporozoites into the body cavity of the mosquito, from which they travel and invade the mosquito salivary glands. The cycle of human infection restarts when the mosquito takes a blood meal, injecting the sporozoites from its salivary gland into the human blood cycle. This is how exactly you will see the cycle of mosquito, that means the cycle of the parasite, which includes, that is, the human as well as the mosquito. So what causes malaria? So malaria can occur if a mosquito infected with the Plasmodium parasite bites. There are four kinds of malarial parasites that can infect the humans, that is Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium ovale, Plasmodium, that is the malaria, and falciparum. And this Plasmodium falciparum causes more severe form of disease, and those who contact this form of malaria have higher risk of death. An infected mother can also pass the disease to her baby at birth, and this is known as congenital malaria. So coming to the symptoms of malaria, their symptoms typically includes which develops in 10 days to 4 weeks with following infection. In some cases, symptoms may not develop for several months. Some malarial parasites can enter the body but will be dormant for long period of time. And the common symptoms are, that is the shaking chills that can range from moderate to severe, high fever, profuse sweating, headache, nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, diarrhea, anemia, muscle pain and convulsions, coma, and then bloody stools you can see in case of malaria. There are so many life-threatening complications of malaria too, that is the swelling of blood vessels of the brain or cerebral malaria, and accumulation of fluid in the lungs that causes breathing problem, organ failure of kidneys, liver or spleen, anemia due to destruction of red blood cells and low blood sugar. So another one, that is ONNV, that is Oanang virus. This is a mosquito-borne alpha virus, is primarily transmitted by the bite of Anopheles phoenistis and Anopheles gambae mosquitoes, which are also the malarial parasite vectors in Africa. The virus, first isolated in Uganda in 1959, is endemic in sub-Saharan Africa and has caused several major outbreaks both in West and East Africa. So ONN fever, characterized by severe arthralgia, is similar to chikungunya fever with the exception of cervical lymphadenitis. Prevention measures do not differ from those adopted against the malarial parasite transmission. Signs and symptoms, common symptoms like polyarthritis, rashes and fever. So other symptoms like eye pain, chest pain, lymphadenitis and lethargy. And the disease is self-limiting. No fatalities due to infection are known by this virus. So coming to the controlling measure of Anopheles, there are three important ways to control, that is a physical, chemical and biological way. First one, that is physical control, involves eliminating the mosquito sources, improving access to these sources or modifying the sources to discourage mosquito breeding and encourage the growth of natural mosquito predators. Maintaining existing drainage systems to assure that water flows freely to discourage mosquito breeding. Removal of bushes that provide cover to mosquito larvae, construction and maintenance of roads that provide access to known mosquito sources. Cleaning up rubbish that may hold water, ditch maintenance, periodically changing bird bath water, cleaning main gutters, all are physical control measures that everyone take care around their homes to decrease the health risk and annoyance which is caused by mosquitoes. Coming to the chemical control, there are variety of environmentally compatible chemicals to control the mosquito larvae and adults without harming to non-target organisms. Some of the products for the larval control are based on unique bacteria which produce protein substance that kill mosquito larvae, but they are non-toxic to other insects and other animals. Insect growth regulator, that is IGR, for example chlorofluorine, difluorobenzuron and EL494 and flufenoxeron and tiflobenzuron, jugolon, plombangin and methoprin, which interrupt the mosquito's life cycle, are also used. Adult mosquitoes are killed using ultra low volume aerosol application of modern pyretin based chemical malathion, phenolphthalein and perimethrin. All the mosquito control products are easily biodegradable and do not persist in the environment. And also larvicides are chemicals that are designed applied directly to water to control mosquito larvae, and adulticides are used in fogging and spraying to control adult mosquitoes. Next, that is the biological control are very important in protecting the public from mosquitoes. Gambisia affinis mosquito fish is the most effective bioagent which preys on mosquito larvae, allowing to keep the mosquito population under control. Gambisia affinis, other larvivorous fishes like Porcella reticulata, Gasterosteus aculeatus and Oreochromis niloticus are also effective biological control agents of mosquito. Entopathogenic fungi such as Brovia bassinia and Metarhizium anisophilia have the potential to kill adult mosquitoes. Spores of bacterium, that is Bacillus thuringiensis israelensis, interfere with the digestive system of mosquito larvae. So these are some of the biological control for Anopheles. Thank you.